Hi, I'm Gloria Kenyon, Public Programs Coordinator for the Smithsonian American Art Museum and Renwick Gallery. And today's craft is making your own stationery with Matchbox cars and an ink pad. So in addition to the Matchbox cars and the ink pad, you'll need a ruler, a pencil, and a paper towel is really helpful. So these are some examples I've made before. And you can see how you get these really interesting, very parallel lines from the cars, and the way the ink is on the tires creates some interesting looks as well. You're going to take your paper, and I like to put it on a paper towel or some plastic just to keep your ink from bleeding all over to your surface. And determine how far down you want it to go on your stationery. For this, I like to go probably about no more than 2 inches, especially if you're going to be a very prolific letter writer. You'd like a lot of space to write to your friends. So I'm going to go about 1.5 inches down and just mark that line off. And you can erase this later. This just acts as a guide for when you're creating your pattern. So today I'm going to use silver, gold, and blue. And depending on what kind of car you use, you get a different tire and a different pattern. This one has rubber wheels, so you'll get a different tread, and we're going to use this one, and we're going to go for this blue. So you're going to run your wheels all over the ink pad, and you want to be careful, depending on what you want your pattern to look like, to get every part of the wheel covered. If you don't, you get a little bit of a broken pattern, which can be interesting, but for this one I want a solid line. So we're just going to run this right along that line I made originally. And you see that it gets a little lighter at the end. So we're just going to re-ink and do it again. And come back the other direction. And now we have our nice solid line for our pattern started. And then you need your extra paper towel to wipe off your tires. I recommend wiping them off before switching between inks with the same car so you don't muddle your inks. But we're going to switch to a different one, and we're going to use this gold. And this one I want a little bit of a different look, so I'm not going to be as careful about it because I want a little bit of a broken line. So we're just going to run the tires over it. And we're going to create a zigzag. So I'm just going to go back and forth. So we're almost to the end. We're just going to keep going our zigzag and finish out these last few little marks. And there we've created our pattern for our stationery. So you can make a whole series out of this. You could switch the colors back and forth. Or you could use the 2 different colors and have a variety of stationeries that are similar pattern but for different things.